We're not talking gin and juice, but juice and friendship. We got the season finale, Vivica's Black Magic. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Stop me, I'm all the way up.
Because the lights
They made it to Vegas. We partying, they partying. I thought this was appropriate.
Very much so. Welcome, AfterBuzzers, to the season finale, Vivica's Black Magic. We are going to light it on fire just like they lit Vegas on fire tonight, and I'm going to get us started. Hello, it's me, Heather Yerrid, one of your lovely hosts. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Heather Yerrid. To my left, introduce yourself, girlfriend.
My name is TK Trinidad. I am doing the live chat on YouTube, and you can find me on all the social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even LinkedIn if you want, at TK Trinidad. The letters TK, not that extra stuff, just TK Trinidad like the country.
And in honor of Viv, hola, hola, hola. It's your girl Tsahai at Say Hi Tsahai on Instagram, Twitter, and sometimes on Snapchat.
Wonderful. Yeah, your Snapchat skills are getting good.
I'm trying to build them up. It's a world that I'm still...
Snapchat's going to die soon.
I'm still exploring.
By the time you figure it out, it's going to be dead.
I know.
And then you can just transfer to Instagram.
Like Periscope.
Or dead, maybe like Bolos flow tonight on the date. Because that's what I think was a little bit dead. Let's talk about that and get right into it.
Oh my gosh.
We're talking about things dying off. I was shocked.
Bye, Bolo.
What happened? So to me, that was literally fear. I'm not ready. I am not the cliche girl that's like, oh, he's scared, girl. He likes you. No, I'm not going to say that. But I did see something. Wasn't sure if it was like, we're about to make it. We're in Vegas. I ain't getting tied down.
Right.
Or like, wow, I really like her, but I'm going to cheat on her. I mean, again, hypothetical type of thing and preventing that. What were your all's thoughts?
It could have been just like, hey, I don't want to get tied down, but I'm here if you need me. Some very LA dating stuff. He's not from LA, because he's from like South or somewhere.
Midwest or something.
Yeah, it's a very LA dating technique. So I don't know if he picked it up from those guys. It's like, hey, I don't really want you. We could be friends in my bedroom, but I might be friends with somebody else. I was not happy with that.
I think we saw a little thing called honesty from a man, which is rare. I mean, first we have, the girl who she in Hurt Bay. Keanu, you are lucky you didn't end up like Hurt Bay, girl. You weren't crying while he was being honest years later about all the girls he done cheated on. He was honest, fortunately, up front, and he saved her a lot of trouble, and I appreciated that.
But he should have known that 3 dates in. He knew that before he started dating her.
I mean, you can't help attraction. She's a cute girl. He's a
he
attractive
could have
guy.
said, hey, like, I don't want nothing, but can we go on a few dates? I want to be your friend, and something else pops off, then like I'm cool.
You know what I think
cool?
it was? I think initially, I think sometimes you go in with intentions to really see how something pans out, and then when you are honest with yourself, it may take a couple of dates to do that.
You're giving him too much credit.
He knew. She had fun while she was there too.
She sure did, but he wasted her time.
I mean, 3 dates, we've wasted more time.
Do you think she risked her job?
Yes,
that's the part.
And that's the thing, though, because I'm sure he's grown. He's not 19.
Yeah.
So he knew from the jump that I'm assuming Black Magic's gonna make it, but even if it doesn't jump off, he's still he's a hustler. We've seen him leave on the weekends and all this other stuff.
Right.
So he knew from the jump off that this is what he wants. So he could have let in like, hey, my life is hectic, but I still want to get to know you, and gave her that option.
But look, say she liked him, right, and then he's like from the jump, nah, I don't like you back. I can't do this. I would have been hurt. Like my feelings would have been more hurt if we didn't even try. Like she at least got to know him a little bit better than she outside of the job. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, but you could have, if he told you that from the jump, and then you still want to get to know him, then your feelings wouldn't get hurt because now both parties are on the same level. Yeah, I feel like he already knew what the deal was, and now he's just like, oh, I just want to see. I want to kind of get to know her.
If he could reel her in and get her to like him. So
I don't think he was that conniving with it. As they were working together, they're in a new city together. They both had to experience this together. So sometimes you need a homie, and sometimes that homie turns into a friend and a lover. We don't know how far things went.
I have no qualms with the whole, hey, we're friends and we're friends. I have no, but let me know from the get. Don't, because then that's gonna piss me off even more.
How old is he? Do we know? Because I don't know.
I want to say, well, he's black, so.
Wait.
I want to say.
What does that mean?
Are you serious?
I really know. I am.
He don't crack, and he
I don't.
He could be younger,
especially
than
black
he looks.
men.
Yeah.
Older than he looks.
Yeah, he could be. His range could be anywhere from 27 to like 35.
I don't think he's. I don't
think he's that old, but you don't know. Like black people, especially men, if they take care of themselves.
It depends.
They're ageless.
Oh,
so I should be jealous.
Well, you know,
we can decide and exercise.
I gave you some extra stuff too.
Yeah,
so I mean, you can't get everything.
Yes, he did. So I see both of your perspectives. I absolutely love the honesty. I've only had from an LA. Well, I've been in LA now officially. My 1 year anniversary is tomorrow.
Anniversary.
And I dated one person in late November, and he lied to me about his age, said he was 32, but he was 22. But here's the point.
Okay.
He was 22, and he said, the night like we met, he said, I'm not interested in anything else but X, Y, and Z. And I actually was like, well, look at you got some game. And he was like, I've never had that response. So he kept calling me, and I'm like, no, you're wasting my time now because you don't want anything. But the point is he put it out there. Shortly after, when it rains, it pours, I went on a couple dates with someone in their 30s. They did not put it out there until 5 to 7 dates later. And I absolutely was like, wait a minute. First you're saying this, second you're saying this, and now you're saying that you don't want anything. So again, interesting dynamic, but I see both sides.
And I don't think
see both
it's just
sides.
LA. I think it's just dating around the country. I think
society today.
It's society today.
Maybe.
That's how
Here
guys
we go.
are.
We can do
That's
a whole conversation. That is a whole other show.
I did
we
the
need
dating
that show
apps
on
in
here.
LA for a hot minute, maybe like a year, and I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I have found I'm working on some stuff, and he's not in LA, and he's normal.
Me too, not in LA, but that's not
everybody
intentional.
got somebody?
But I just did.
You gotta go. You go run for the border.
I mean, I've lived in New York. I've lived in Miami. I've lived in Virginia. I've traveled for work a lot, and I've met people from all over. I don't think it's just LA. I listen to my girlfriends in others. Yeah, guys are doing the same thing. But again, I appreciate Bolo being honest. Yes, it took him 3 dates. I'd rather be 3 dates than 30 dates or a baby or some other drama. You know, so he had to figure it out in his own time.
And again, I hate to sound like a cliche girl right now, but like I, in my heart of hearts, there's something about it that I do think he likes her. Like I think so too. I think he actually wanted to continue it, but because he kept saying, "I've been hurt. It was also refreshing, in my opinion, to see a man be like in his own way. That was vulnerability.
Yes.
I've been hurt. So since I've been hurt, I'm gonna do that. Now, it's his crutch. It's his crutch.
Yes.
And like she said, is this whole bullshit of it's not you, it's me type thing, and it was. But at the end of the day, we all want a love story.
He needs some counsel. I'm being hard on him because
he needs a coach.
Bolo, I ain't.
HeatherYerrid.com. I am a coach, and I have break up to break through. Okay,
services.
There you go.
I'm gonna break up to
I
break
just
through.
think, everybody's been through that, some form of it, right?
Yes.
And then again, no matter if you're grown or not, whether you grow up or not, right? So you can't use that. Like, how far was the relationship? Was it 3 months ago? Was it a month ago? Because if this was a month ago, then you just need to not date anybody. Anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't a month ago.
If it was a while ago, then you need to get over it or figure it out.
Men are not that evolved. I feel like as women, we take the time to kind of grow. Men, they
come with the hits every week.
I realize people who watch this may think I'm bitter, but I'm not.
No,
I
you're
just
not.
learn from difficult experiences.
Yes, it's okay. I don't think you're bitter.
I think guys, they just aren't in tune with their emotions. It takes them a little bit longer, is what I'm learning, and we expect them to immediately be ready to tell me how you feel from the jump, but it takes them some time.
And here's why they're not there, because as a society, the women, they can be masculine energy. Go out and get your job. Go out, wait to have a husband, and if you're the breadwinner, great. But we don't tell the men, you can be a stay-at-home dad. Right. You can feel emotion. So there is, again, this is a whole other conversation, but there is a significant imbalance.
Right.
So it's something that is manifesting in relationships, causing LA dudes, New York dudes, Texas dudes, wherever, to be like, you know what, I'm good. Because guess what? They're stepping out early because they're like, where do I stand? Am I going to be emasculated, or am I going to be the man, or am I not? How are we doing this? And no one's supporting that.
Also, Bolo is an entertainer. His business is to have women fall in lust with him
Right.
on a regular basis. So I'm sure part of it is possibly like, if I settle down with one woman, is that going to mess
Ruin
up
my
my
game.
my business?
Well, penetration, Profit the Problem, and Slow Mo, they have ladies and they're
White
still killing
chocolate.
it. Oh yeah, White Chocolate. Oh yeah, good
See?
relationship.
See?
But regardless, I think that seeing the dynamic and seeing a little love story played out added some flavor to this show.
I'm not feeling your friendship and juice, Bolo.
Yeah.
Took that somewhere else. Kiana,
Yeah.
she
She did good. She said she went into it to risk her job. Now, on
Right.
that note, I believe the way Viv approached her getting mani and petties was super supportive. Like, again, as a coach, I look for the way that you start the conversation.
Right.
And Vivica did not say, I told you not to do that. She was
Right.
like, you know, here's what I've noticed in my experience.
Right.
That, like, I don't know, I was like, oh, God, again. Like, I've already loved her, but that just kept getting
Just
it for
Heather,
me.
I just need you to have a gush fest. Like, Viv, I love you so much.
I love you. I love you so much. Like, I do. Like,
Yeah.
again, I can talk about that. Like, you are empowering women. You have your own money into this, and you literally are living the entrepreneur dream and just a self-successful woman. And there are not a lot of women that have the moxie to do that, and you do, and you did confidently, and you hustled, and you did it with men, like managing men
all,
and a couple
all
women.
while looking fabulous.
Yes.
and multiple streams of income. I'm
Yes,
sure my
that's-
teacher from college
yes.
is gonna love this. She not only is she doing black magic, she has the jeans, she
jeans,
has the
wigs,
hair.
the other way, yeah.
It's just like
Empire,
Darn.
other
Empire.
acting
Yeah.
opportunities.
And again, I know that wasn't a highlight per se on the show, but I almost think another angle they can take to get more ratings, because obviously they're already great, is that whole like, this is what it looks like to be an entrepreneur, male, female, whatever it
Right.
looks like. But to me, that is empowering. I've never had a female boss, only men.
Right.
So to see a woman in that role is great.
Right.
So the way she approached it at the Manis and Petties was great. Eureka, I couldn't
talk about
tell what was
Eureka's
going
approach.
on. Yeah, what was going on with your? I mean, what did y'all perceive in that approach?
I think with Eureka, she's trying to be direct, but the problem with, because I'm a very direct person, and the problem with that is not everybody receives it. So the lesson I've learned is like, you have to assess that person, especially if they're going to be dealing with them in a business way or a relationship way. You have to assess that person and say, okay, my direct approach is not going to work on this person, so I need to come with it not in a like
mirror. You want a mirror.
And not in like a back way, but it's like, all right, me saying you effed up, you shouldn't do this. She already wasn't feeling it like 2 or 3 episodes ago.
From the gate,
Right.
yeah.
So
yeah.
you can't approach Keanu just saying I told you so, because now you're creating an enemy right before a big show in Vegas. Like, you don't want to do that.
And is she, again, let's revisit this. Is she her boss? No, right? It's Vivica, and the org chart
Right.
looks like this. V-E-K, right?
Right.
They're equal.
Right.
So even with what you said makes total sense. That's what a leader should do. Mirror, like, again, Vivica killed it. She was like, here's what I found. This makes it hard.
Right.
Eureka, I just feel like, was like,
Yeah.
and when you do this, and when you
I
condescend
think
Yeah.
it's because Eureka has been like the hammer.
Yeah.
All the difficult decisions, Eureka has had to be the enforcer of these difficult things. When Alvester needed to get let go, it was Eureka. When Darrin needed to be checked, it was Eureka. So I
And
get.
Eureka had to bring him back to bring Darrin back.
So I could see how she feels like, okay, I'm responsible for everyone. She's kind of been with the organization, I think, a little bit longer than Kiana, so I could see that. But for me, it's like when things are difficult, when we're in a new location, when, we're at a new venue, everything's hectic, are you going to be the person delegating and saying, do this, do this, do this? Or are you going to be the hands-on person helping, getting things under control until you're at a place where you can observe from the outside looking in?
Right.
And that's what real leadership and facilitating an event is. I personally did not see that from her.
I think she, again, I just
Delegating,
think,
yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but she delegated. Great point, Tsahai. You can delegate,
Yeah.
which she did have the 3 young ladies join her that were ready to take orders.
Right.
But it's not necessarily the best approach when
Yeah.
wanting to pull off a show, like you guys said.
And you
So-
saw Kiana when she was given clear instruction, okay, I need you on this side. She listened. But I don't think we've seen Kiana push back when Eureka said, I need this from you. She's never been like, belligerent, just like, nah, I'm not going to listen to you.
well, I think that's a respectful thing too, because
Yeah.
it's Vivica. At the end of the day, this is Vivica's name on the line. So I think with Eureka, she feels a little bit more pressure, because if this fails,
Right.
then she doesn't have a job. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's kind of all
Yeah.
these little things, and then of course they're close. I don't know. What I want to ask, I don't know if you have the answer. I wish we would have asked Kiana last week. How long has Vivica been friends or
Associates,
with Kiana or Eureka?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know they worked together on a movie, and that's initially how they met prior to, this television shows. But I don't know the number offhand.
I have to admit, I was upset to see, we see two dynamics in this episode. We see two of the gentlemen step up and say, first it was all about me, slow motion. First it was all about me, but I learned about the team and it helped me grow. Bolo, towards the end, said the same thing. I'm a solo performer, but it really, empowered me to be with the team. I'm paraphrasing. I hate to say as usual, but I was a little bit upset to see that the women, in my opinion, just saying they couldn't pull that off. And to me, that shows a weak infrastructure, which no wonder the guys aren't getting out. Don't even make me get started on dress rehearsal because I can't. I'm just
Heather, you were fuming. You were like, why?
I'll work for you for free, Viv, because I'll show you what it looks like to get men on stage. I don't care if they're men or not. But I'm serious. It's just another topic. But the men dynamic, they grew together, they butted heads, they got over it.
Right.
I didn't see that happen with the women, and I feel like it hurt the infrastructure again to get them to listen and take action. Did you feel that, Tsahai, being upset?
I totally agree. Like, it was upsetting to me to see things end with two of the women, outside of Vivica, who are the part of the infrastructure of this group, fighting like this. Because at the end of the day, the men were able to get it together, and they're the ones, they're making money.
Yes.
Guys put things aside because they're like, you know what, at the end of the day, nothing is going to mess with my money.
Yes.
And then here it is, we have two grown women who could have also come together, put their minds together, and created something for themselves. But instead, we see them arguing, being catty over dudes, really. And it's like, ladies, come on now. We have so many other things that we could, be focusing on at this time. Here it is, the boys on the side, they're like performing.
Giggling, and they're giggling at them, by the way.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they did.
Yeah.
And ready for the show, because at the end of the day, also, they're ready. The energy that they get from the performance, they know that's what it's about.
Right.
At the end of the day.
I think my thing that had me fuming, I don't know if this is an editing thing, but they had Keanu on the phone all the time, and I'm like, is she texting a friend? Because everything that needs to, I mean, again, you can let me know, everything that needs to be done with the show, everybody's there. So there's nobody that you should be texting all the time. So I don't know if this is an editing thing, but it made her look really, really bad.
Yeah.
And she said that last time she was here. She's like, I'm going to look like this. So maybe that was it.
Yeah, that was terrible. So
let me tell you something. Like, by the time we got to Vegas, it was like you had been on a road trip with your family and everyone is exhausted. But we were so excited to be in Vegas. But Vegas was the hectic nature that you see on the producing end and on the talent end. It was just hectic because, again, you're not in LA, so you're trying to wrangle everybody. You're at a new venue that you haven't really seen much or practiced in much. You're putting all these things together. All the costumes have to come together. So it was a lot on everybody. So if she was on her phone, she probably was not just on her phone with her homie like, hey girl, what's up? She probably was prepping, So
I hope so.
Yeah. So
because it didn't look good.
Yeah, it didn't, and it almost looked passive aggressive.
Yeah.
With the whole Eureka thing, which again, she said, and I, hey man, if this is where you're at, this is great. If I do approach her, face it, game over. Like she literally said, like I would
you
go.
Gonna throw bows?
Oh, she said that she was like, I did what I needed to do to stay focused and professional. Because the way she came at me, she's like, if this wasn't professional, it's gonna be totally different.
So that's what I wanted to ask you, ladies. Okay, you have a situation. Say you are Keanu.
Okay.
And Eureka steps to you. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. This is the third, fourth, fifth time she's approached you and said, you're not doing a good job. I told you so. You got to do this my way.
Right.
How would you approach it would you have gone off and been like, okay, now this is it. I'm tired of you. Or would you have been able to stay professional?
So I immediately would have, in the moment, let's say it was like the second time, in the moment, just would have like GSD, get you done, in that, whatever that would look like.
Right.
At that, but immediately next day, actually probably that night when I got home, I'd message V and be like, hey Vivica, just real quick, it seems that we're not aligned with the vision of what my responsibilities are, and since you are my direct boss, I'm CCing Eureka on this. I'd like to discuss further what the expectations are for me, so this conflict and energy that I'm kind of feeling and sensing can get resolved. That's exactly what I'd do.
See, now that to me is kind of like passive aggressive.
Oh my God, no, not
so
at all.
What I would do in that situation, because like I said, and I guess because for me, my thing is just assessing folks. Like that's my first line.
You mean
like,
direct communication at first?
Yeah,
like
so
speaking
it's
direct?
kind of like Eureka came at her once, she came at her twice, and clearly she's not talking to her the way you want to receive that. So I would have, like you said, get it done at the moment, and then after everything was settled, and it's like, let's talk for a moment. And I would tell her, it's like, I understand we both have a clear path. We both want this to work. However, how you're talking to me, it's not going to work.
But they did that. So after that, they did it at her house. They did that at her house, and these words were almost said, but they still did this. So third, fourth, fifth time, no, I'm going to Vivica. She's not changing. She ain't changing.
She didn't tell her how to talk to her. She said she just didn't appreciate how she was coming at her. There's a little bit of, it's like a little slight word change, but if you come at me like hard, I'll be like, look, we're both on the same, we're both trying to excel, we're both trying to make it. So I suggest,
I invite, the best way to do that is being also someone who, I invite.
Yeah.
I invite you to really consider the energy behind your words.
Right. And the thing is, if you do that, whether or not, like, however the person receives that element's already there. It's like, I already spoke to you about that.
And that's when you go to Vivica, in my opinion.
Right. See, that's my approach would have been different, because I feel like we live in a very aggressive society now. Like, it's all about clapping back and being petty. And sometimes that's what people respond to. I think, for me, I would have talked to her directly. If that didn't work, then I would have gone to Vivica, because I would have, everyone's like, say it to my face, say it to my face. Well, I think that some people, that's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying by that, you read people and you assess. But again, sometimes people think they reading people the right way, and you got to say, nah, ma'am, I'm sorry. This is exactly how I feel. I'm going to tell you. You don't need to. Yeah. You don't need to try to read me. I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Yeah. So. And it didn't click.
No.
Like, Eureka did not receive. I'm favoring Keanu because she was here, but when that happened, both of them did not. And so again, when you have that capability to note, my direct communication ain't going to her. Agreed. Like, I don't like going to I don't hate when people go over my head, but when it's not working, it's not, and it risked the show.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? But when you watch Eureka's approach, Eureka doesn't. You notice she doesn't raise her voice. She's like very slick. She's like, she doesn't get loud. She doesn't get in your face.
And she's already planning in the background too.
She's poised. She's like, Vivica, do you mind if I do something?
Yes, your permission.
Meanwhile, she's already called the girl.
Yeah.
Already did it.
Yes. So do you believe, we kind of been through it, but let's just spell it out. Do you believe the dress rehearsal flopped? Because let's face it, to me, it was a bust. Do you think that was Kiana's responsibility?
Well, whoever decided to have the photo shoot, like, whose call was that?
Now, I will say, I think, if I remember correctly, it wasn't technically a photo shoot. I think, as you saw, it was so hectic back there, and they were taking photos to figure out so they could label the wardrobe. But if you're a boss and people not coming out on time, and you see a camera and you see your talent, you're like, what the hell is going on with this photo shoot? I think it was perceived
let's
to be
GSD. Let's just GSD. I did that to my team. First week, they're sitting in there. They'd already been mingling. I was like, get your asses outside. Ricky didn't talk to me for like a week. I was like, Ricky. He's like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm like, it happens. Like, it doesn't matter.
Because sometimes you just need to get it done. And that was something that they could have done later on.
Right.
It's just like, if they're running a show earlier, if they're running a show, then you need to do it back to back, because you want to emulate how it's going to be the next day.
But see, that's the thing. In that situation, you have everyone putting their needs first. So you have the wardrobe department putting their needs first. They needed those photos to stay organized. You have Vivica, her needs are first, because she's like, I need to get this done.
Right.
Darrin, his needs. Eureka, her needs. So it was all these personalities.
So, but there's my thing.
Yeah.
To me, I think this is Eureka, and I'm not sure. Like, if I was in Eureka's spot, that would be done. So, hey, we need to get the pictures for the wardrobe. We need to get that done Tuesday at 6.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
like, who's call?
The project manager. Per se.
Yeah, who makes that? Who was making those calls?
I think it's supposed to be Eureka.
Well,
I don't know.
I think that was the major issue. The communication was not the best at that time.
So I have a question for y'all. I know what I would do.
Okay,
because I just execute. If there's an event happening and I'm like, and there's no operations happening, no project management, I would just do it. And if it's done after, I'd rather beg for forgiveness than ask for permission.
For sure.
Would y'all? Neither of them took action. Would you guys have just been like, okay, I'm organizing this and execute, or would you have waited to see what happened?
No, because in that moment, the guys really needed wrangling. They needed direction.
Yes.
So here it is. The people who were supposed to be giving other people needed they needed direction on their end in order to convey that to the guys, and that's where the lines of there was a disconnect in the communication.
Took my heels off and walked back there and made sure, like, I would have stopped everything. And, all right, what do you want done? Talk to Vivica. Like, what do you
Right.
want done, and then proceed. Because at that moment, whether Kiana likes the way I talk to her or not, is getting done.
But it's
so
also
you can
good-
sit in the corner while.
But Viv also has a lot on her plate, and she needs someone to just take
And she
charge.
said
Right.
that.
So-
the first episode, I empower you
Yeah,
guys.
because it's a lot of it. You don't always need to go to the boss and tattletale. Just take the reins on your own. Take charge, and because you're helping in the long run. So it's not really about who's gonna like you when. So it's just about getting it done.
And she told them to do that, which again, we started my love affair with Vivica. I'm like, oh please, I love that. That's what I love. So Tsahai, did they sell the place out? That's what I was curious about. It looked packed, but I couldn't.
No, it was totally packed. It was a full house. Those ladies were going wild. It was crazy. It was packed.
Yes. Oh, and yes. Vivica really owned the yes
And
the whole
Ola,
thing.
Oh my gosh. Vivica's gold, like the dress was amazing, but the shoes though.
She looked
Those
gorgeous.
Gladiator.
shoes, yes.
Yeah.
That was life
And
right
I loved
there.
her entrance.
Yeah,
it was.
That was like, I think if I ever get married, that's how I want my entrance to be.
Yeah,
I don't think my husband will like that,
Getting carried by
but
the
yeah.
men.
but
That's
getting-
what the
I don't
princesses do
know.
that. Queens in different countries do that.
Maybe not as good looking men because my husband will get jealous, but like that would be a nice
He could be a good-looking
entrance.
man too. We don't know.
Well, you know.
I have high hopes.
You know, my husband will be okay, but you know, men, like you were saying, they have to be. You can't just throw it out.
Exactly. They got to know their place.
She's rubbing off on me.
Just trying to spread my knowledge.
I
to
love
the youth.
it. I love it. So let's get into some maybe like superlatives here, right?
Yes.
So if you guys had to pick most improved,
I'm
Anybody
gonna
that stands
say charm, because he was not a dancer at all. And when you watch him, he is putting his all into really doing well, getting the dance moves right. And I was so impressed with him. So most improved is Charms, aka Stephen Beck.
wonderful.
Gosh, I think everybody in their own way, because everybody, especially. Like, I feel the same way, too. If you didn't grow up in a team or group setting, like, if you didn't play, like, group sports or all this other stuff, when you get to a certain point, like, as an adult, like, you don't want to hear any of that. So it's very hard for individuals to do stuff like that. So I think everybody came with their, like, life as being a dancer everywhere else and individual and all this other stuff, and they came together as a team by the end of it. So I want to pretty much, like, everybody's learned, like, if you see throughout the episode, or we saw throughout the episode, everybody had their, moments and their nuggets. So I
That's
just
sweet.
give it-
Everybody gets a gold star.
everybody gets a participation badge.
I think Prophet the Problem. I like he was already phenom with like I don't know if it's called like pop lock dancing, but it looked something like that he was
Stomping
doing and the
yard.
stomping. So whatever it was, and my ex from like 10 years ago when he would bite his lower lip in the beginning, and I remember thinking like that ain't gonna work on stage because I remember like my ex could not shake that, but he just
Wait, so your ex was a stripper?
no, but I mean no, I don't think he was.
Sounds like it,
I know,
Heather.
but
Wait a
no,
minute.
honestly,
No,
because I'm saying no.
Exotic
but honestly,
dancer like
he
Viv
danced
said?
like one in front of me, and he bit his lip like one, and he literally like every time I was like that
just throwing out the
totally looked
dollars.
like.
Yes!
I mean, but I didn't. He was secretive.
In
so
this
we'll
last
see.
episode, we are now finding out. See, prior to working on this show, I had no experience with male strippers. But you over here, you did the masters on it. You did your thesis
female-
on
female
strippers,
strippers,
and then
yeah.
you had the stripper ex-boyfriend. So you guys have a lot of experience. Now I see why you're on the panel.
Oh yes,
I have
yes.
like I said, female. For some reason, I can go to a female strip club and like have no issues. Like, all right, girl, I see you.
Yeah.
Nice
Do your
outfit.
thing.
Do your thing. I don't want it in my face,
Yeah.
but here you go.
Right.
Enjoy the company, guys. But for some reason, man,
You know what it is? I think for you, because you were an athlete, right?
Yeah.
So I think you look at it. Do you look at it like a sport? Like these women are athletes and they're strong, like an
definitely
athlete.
when they do on the pole,
Oh my
I give
God.
them respect
Their
for that.
core
But
is
I also
hello.
think with the sports thing, I've been around men that look like that and play sports.
Okay.
So to me, when I see a guy like that, I'm like, oh, okay, this is nothing
so
new.
you're not
I'm
like
good.
wowed.
Yeah,
Because you're used to seeing that all the time.
So then when you add the body and the dance, and I guess too, because I'm not like I did like ballet for 15 years, so I'm
Okay.
stiff. So
Right.
like see all that, maybe maybe it could be a jealousy
Oh,
thing
so
too.
it makes you uncomfortable
Yeah,
to see
I'm
them
like
all
I don't want to
grinding
because I
and stuff?
can't do that. I can't do a backflip. It
It's
could
all
be that
coming out on the
That's
season
amazing.
finale.
I love that openness
But
and
I don't want to
vulnerability.
see the show that we went to when the guy had the sock on and he was
Women
tell you that?
traumatized by that
No,
song.
I
Oh,
didn't.
you missed so.
There was kind of like this Egyptian one though. I was gonna ask you about the dances because in the video the thing was just like
Yeah, it was worse than that. Oh my gosh, this guy, he's amazing. His body was on point. What was?
I forgot his name.
So,
he's not on the TV show.
He just came when we went to that show, and so he had chaps on, and his booty's out, and then he has a sock.
Oh yeah,
but it's
with
fringe on his man part, and so he did his dance, and then he proceeded to straddle and do like a sumo squat, and then whip it up and down like it was an elephant trunk, and I was like,
all by itself, like it was mechanical.
I was just like, this is not sexy to me.
I wonder how many of the women did the women like
Oh my god, the women loved
crazy.
it.
Yes,
they went crazy. Like they had never seen a penis before. I was like, they've never seen a penis do that before. I'm
also
like,
he was quite well endowed.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, if you're gonna wear that sock, you can't be running 5 inches.
Not at all.
And that's what was so one of the things that was impressive about the entertainers this time around is we saw no socks, all real deal Lucille shit.
All
you know
the
what I'm saying? It was
Well, you have to.
nonstop. I don't know. I've seen shows that are socks. I mean, people are stacked. It is
With
not.
the socks?
Yes,
Oh,
in their
no.
G-strings. Oh yeah.
That's false advertising.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
appreciate
This
that. I
is
didn't pay for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's
This is the first time.
another stereotype about black people.
Oh, stop!
Again, I have like no context here.
And
I
white
have no
chocolate
context.
too. He's part of the group.
Well, I mean,
He's
white chocolate dips in, like, white chocolate.
he down.
You
He
know,
down for the
yeah,
okay.
he's down for the cause. That was already a given. And you saw all that, and then he did the flip in the first episode and had her on.
he
You already
knows
knew.
what to
He
do.
already knew,
And shout out to everybody that's at the viewing party because Vivica's having her final season finale viewing party
I
at
can
BuzzFeed
only
tonight.
imagine what the dancing is going to be like tonight.
So all the guys are
Yay.
there. So
That's
shout out
good.
to everybody there.
Yes. So to wrap it up, what was your favorite part? I can't believe we're already at the season finale. It was
believe
amazing. I can't. And it's cool to see. Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, am I gonna see a woman be like, lose weight, do this, that? Not at all. She was Vivica was more of that like nurturing, empowering mother, and really went above and beyond. Even again, I even wrote on here. They were way more calm, her and Darrin and everybody, than I would have been when they weren't on stage. I would have. So she kept her class. It was awesome. And I didn't know what to expect. And what I received again was that very empowering, like she went out there.
Yeah.
Multiple revenue streams, made it happen. And people that were passionate about following their dreams. Eureka said it. I can do anything if I put my mind to it.
Yeah.
And it was impressive. It was a great show. I want to talk about favorite parts. My favorite part has to be, I'm a big relationship person. I love relationship coaching. So being able to watch Kiana and Bolo's dynamic, as much as that was the dancing,
Bye, Bolo.
it was just, I analyzed like the dog, how he asked her, what they were saying about each
This
other,
is
his
what I'm saying,
responses.
though. He took her to a puppy shop.
I mean, that's how
That's what I'm
guys
saying. I think he
are. They're
likes
going to test the water.
I swear.
I've never been taken to a puppy. I've been played a lot, and I've never been taken to a puppy shop.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's
But
for
it's how
our
soft
other
he is.
show.
Yeah, we need that.
We need to do Vivica's
dating.
Black Magic
Dating LA.
relationship
I
edition.
mean, that's why I asked them if they were all single. I was like, anyone single? We can talk about this. But so my favorite was watching the relationship dynamic. I always love a relationship dynamic, and the fact that I the first episodes we were watching, so I was just like, you're on this panel and you're like blushing right now. Like I was like covering my face, and I was
But
like,
you also wanted them to get naked as soon as possible.
Yes. So just wrapping up there. So what was your favorite part?
Same thing. Like even when I went to the live and the show, it's just that these guys have such amazing bodies, and that's hard work.
Yeah.
So and then the I can't remember what episode it is. It might have been like 6 or 5 when he did I think it was Bolo. He did the flips and then landed on her and then did a slither.
Oof.
I just have appreciation for what people can do, regardless of what you do in life. I just have appreciation what people can do with their body. Like I think it was Prophet. Penetration. He was on the bed and he just proceeded to do a tripod handstand on the bed. I'm
And,
like that's
didn't
not
topple
easy.
over at
Yeah,
all.
that's not easy because
Yeah.
the bed has springs. Like I do that stuff in the gym and that takes me a hot minute just to get on point. So I just have a real appreciation about people and the way they
The acrobatic piece
yeah.
to the
The
entertaining.
acrobatics, yes,
Totally
the
makes
athleticism.
sense.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
athleticism.
then
That's so much
Vivica's
better.
outfits, the gold
Yes.
shoes, just the outfits in general.
She always looks
And then
great.
how she's just on point, like never misses a beat.
And
could
with
be
class.
with
Like so
class.
calm.
It could be chaotic backstage, and she's just handling the crowd like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like we were born for this.
That's
so,
a showstopper.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
kudos to that.
That's funny that you say that because I realized that Vivica as a woman is a little bit of Kiana and a little bit of Eureka. She's got the nurturing Kiana spirit, but when it's time to lay down the hammer and she might have to curse a little bit to get her point across, she does that. So I think now that I think about it, Eureka and Kiana were like parts of Vivica, and that's what they were learning from her. So they each took something away from the experience. I mean, for me overall, the fact that they made it to Vegas, you know, because you never know how things were going to happen, and they made it to Vegas. It was a successful event, and just to see the growth from everyone was really amazing to see. And also I just want to shout out everybody that worked on the show, producers, you know, all the talent. You know, it was a great experience.
Awesome, great. Well, that is it, ladies and maybe some gentlemen. Season finale, Vivica's Black Magic. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you soon. Maybe
season 2.
Yeah,
possibly.
for a season 2. Ladies, go ahead and start us off on where they can find you on social media.
You can find me everywhere. TK, the letters T, the letters K, not TEEK. TK Trinidad, like the country, TRINIDAD. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to spell that. But
Girl,
maybe.
can you imagine Tsahai? And that's why I spell it. It's SAYHITSAHAI on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, and as always, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Heather Yerrid.
Oh, one last thing.
Yes.
Thank you to Vivica for developing the show, giving the women who didn't have the opportunities like I had to see half-naked men
live
on TV.
And hosting the ultimate girls' night out.
On Hump Day, get you through the week. So shout out to Vivica for doing all that, the whole planning.
Yay for Vivica.
And thanks to all the fans that have stuck with us through all 8 episodes.
Yes.
We love you, and hopefully there's a season 2.
Yes. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.